Hey everybody, Nick RoVMX here with some comic book reviews. Got actually quite a few books to do this week, mostly because I didn't go to the comic store last week, so I couldn't do any reviews. So we got 2 weeks worth. I don't have it broken into last week and this week, so I'm just going to go through them all. First up here we have Batman number 691. If you remember the last issue of Batman, we had Two-Face had broken into the Batcave, and he was wearing this weird Batman costume, which you can see there. And he's standing over the new Batman, Dick Grayson. We soon learn that he's not actually wearing the costume. It's just Two-Face in his normal clothes. He just shot Dick up with a whole bunch of adrenaline. This is a pretty good issue, though I found it to be somewhat predictable, at least until the very end. Like, for example, this one part where Batman gets shot up with something, and then you see that it's like another Batman that did it. It's obviously Alfred just messing around, and he shot him up with tranquilizers to counteract the effects of the adrenaline. So that helped. They make the decision to empty out the cave completely, which is kind of interesting. Before that, we have Black Mask, who offers Two-Face a spot in his gang, which he refuses. He decides to leave Gotham, which is interesting at least. They decide to empty out the cave completely, and in the base of the memorial to Jason Todd, which really shouldn't be standing anymore, as Jason is quite alive, but he finds a data disk with a case file on Dick's parents' murder. So, now the big cliffhanger is, what was Bruce Wayne hiding about the Flying Graysons? Decent issue, nothing special. Action Comics, number 882. This is The Hunt for Reaction, Part 3. Not really much of a hunt. He kind of comes to the Metropolis 3, of course meaning Nightwing, Flamebird, and Supergirl. It's just a whole lot of intrigue in this. You got Reactron, you got General Sam Lane, you got the K-Squad, you've got Supergirl and Thara. It really... It's an improvement in a lot of ways over the more recent issues of Action Comics. The art is better. It's easier to read. So I say that this series is getting better now. It ends in a very interesting way. I'll just skip right over to that. Oh, that's the backup feature, which I didn't even read. Ends in a very interesting way. I mean, you got Reactron here attacking Supergirl with the gold kryptonite. So we'll see what happens. Next issue. Obviously, they're not going to get killed, but we'll see what happens. Booster Gold, number 25. Guest starring Batman and Robin, according to this. For 25th issue, this really isn't too much anything special. It's called Day of Death Aftermath. Mostly, Rip Hunter is trying to send Booster Gold out on a mission. He doesn't really want to do it. There's a whole lot of back and forth. He eventually returns to the Batcave to do what he was supposed to do the first time, although this time he's stopped by Robin, and he winds up meeting Batman again, and they have a whole discussion about the past and time travel and everything. There's this one particular part that I liked, where Booster, describes kind of a lot of the benefits of being a time travel. He says he knows who the model of the Mona Lisa is. He knows what really happens at Dealey Plaza in 63. He knows why the Titanic sank. Where Amelia Earhart is. He doesn't say, any of these things, but he says that he knows. And then there's this sort of poignant scene where he takes Batman back to see his parents one last time. The backup feature, which is Blue Beetle, is interesting. We find out who the Blue Beetle is. Well, who he claims to be. He claims to actually be Jaime Reyes, the current Blue Beetle, just in the future, which makes Jaime worry that he'll go bad, and especially with the Scarab trying to get him to kill more and more. It's kind of interesting. I also thought this part was funny with Milagro getting the two action figures. She wanted a Batgirl to marry her Blue Beetle, but instead they got her Booster Gold. She said, oh, well, those two will have to get married. Very good issue. This has been an excellent series. Here we have Deadpool Merc with the Mouth number 4. This series has just been a whole lot of fun from the beginning. I love Deadpool and his reaction to things. I love the Deadpool zombie head. That guy is hilarious. The whole Eamon Hydra thing, not really that big of a deal, but the whole issue is just nonstop humor, of course. So, and gratuitous ass shots like that. And gratuitous ass shots like that. If you've been reading this, it's up to par with the rest of the issues. There's really nothing to say about it. It's not any better or any worse than the first 3 issues. So definitely check that out. Blackest Night Superman. The first 2 issues of this were really good. This one was sort of a letdown. I like the parts with Krypto. The fight scenes I felt were not really as good. Or I think there was just too much fighting going on. I like the quieter parts of the first 2 issues and the dialogue and such. And there's definitely less dialogue here. You do get to see a lot of colors. There's some interesting stuff with Superboy and how he gets enthralled by the Psycho Pirate, and then he uses the Psycho Pirate's mask, which actually is able to destroy a group of Black Lanterns. Of course, then the mask itself gets destroyed, so it's not like that could be used in the future. Really kind of a disappointing end to a great series, a great mini, but it's not too bad. Then there's this Batman Doc Savage preview. I haven't really looked at that. This is Deadpool number 900. Now, this isn't actually part of the main series. It's actually the first issue of what's going to be Deadpool Team Up. I think next issue is going to be $8.99. I think they're poking fun at the whole thing. They're poking fun at the legacy numbering by calling it number 900, and then they're going to go down. As you can see, this is a huge issue, and for only $5, it's a huge, huge bargain. You get a lot of stories in this. I mean, some of them are good, some of them are great. There's none of them that I didn't like. They're all pretty short. They're all very funny. Like there's this one with the alien abduction. There's this one with mimes that has no dialogue whatsoever until the end. There's one that I thought was kind of funny in a weird sort of way. Was the Whittle Wade one. Where is that? The Whittle Wade one, where he returns to Japan. It seems to be sort of a retelling of a previous Deadpool team-up story. Yeah, this is it. It seems to be almost the same exact story. I don't know. But either way, definitely get this, because this is just... I also love the tribute to Casino Royale style cover. Huge. For $5, you get so many pages. It's just ridiculous how much story you get. If you like Deadpool, you definitely want to check that out. Invincible number 67, second part of the Preparations for War storyline, which is leading up to the Viltrumite War storyline. We have, basically Alan the Alien and Omni-Man, or Nolan, or whatever you want to call him, going around and gathering things that can hurt Viltrumites or destroy their empire in one way or another. There's these great parts with Nolan sleeping on the couch and just having to deal with the sounds of Alan and his girlfriend having loud sex all the time. You get to see that Star Trek The Next Generation sort of parody cast return again. They were previously in the series. They don't succeed at everything they do, but they do wind up preparing pretty well to go up against the Viltrumites. Definitely, and the ending, I won't even spoil the ending. The ending is absolutely great. So definitely check that out. Great issue. Green Lantern Corps number 41. This is obviously part of the Blackest Night. Very creepy cover, rather. It basically is just a whole lot of action, a whole lot of emotion going on, and a whole lot of Black Lanterns just getting blasted apart, coming back together, getting blasted apart. It's just a pure action issue, and I really can't complain too much of that, because despite that, there's a lot of story. There's some great scenes with Arisia. There's some great stuff with Soren Ignatu and Kyle Rayner. If you read the Tales of the Corps, you'll love this part with Kilowog, which is great. And then at the end, the Indigo Clan showing up. So yeah. Red Robin number 5. It says Pupil of Ra's al Ghul. You could probably guess what happens in this issue. I like this because it's sort of a mistake that Tim makes when he believes that he has died and come back, and that he's been through a Lazarus pit, and it turns out he just lost his spleen and he was operated on. He's supposed to lead the League of Assassins against the clan of spiders, and he wants to take them both down. There's this whole part with a little girl that was bit by spiders hundreds of times, and that she's like become sort of a living plague. I think that for her, it doesn't really. These two stories don't really intersect. I think that she's sort of an origin to the Council of Spiders. Pretty good issue, nothing special. And lastly, Blackest Night Batman #3. This had a much better end than the Superman story. I mean, there's some great stuff here with the Flying Graysons, with Tim's parents, with Deadman. Etrigan shows up, and I really, really enjoyed this. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil it, so I don't want to show too much of it. But definitely highly would recommend Blackest Night Batman #3. Definitely got to check that out. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week with more comic reviews. That'll be it for now.